Good afternoon, CFM. It's Coach Matt with our Wednesday workout, bench press, and then more bench press today. Let's begin with 3 rounds through 12 calories, your choice, row, bike, or ski. And then we're gonna do a couple ground exercises. So Spider-Man, stretch, so elbows, and then vertical reach. So on this vertical reach, I want both hands raised up and try to push the hips forward as we put our hands as if I had a barbell in my hands. That's my overhead position. And then back to elbow, and then back to overhead position with the hips pushing forward. Next, we're gonna lay down, scorpion stretch, try to reach a heel towards the hand as you rotate around, all right? After that one, seal press. So hips on the ground. Try to start this one from the grounded position instead of trying to sink your hips into it to start off. 15 seconds there, just loosening up the abs and the lower back. And then the last one is a bottom of the ring dip hold position. So now we are prepping the shoulders, the triceps, right, and the chest for that bottom position of the ring dip, just for 15 seconds. For 3 rounds, if you want to do this one, do the first one with your feet on the ground, second one a little lighter on the feet, third one get the feet off the ground, or try to get the feet off the ground if you can, okay? And then in between these or afterwards, we can set up our bench presses. We're not going crazy heavy on the bench press today because we're gonna add up some volume in the workout on the bench press, but we are starting to march our way down towards higher digits on the percentage, lower digits on the reps, just like we did on deadlift, just like we're gonna do on squat. Today, the reps or the percentages are lighter because we're gonna be doing a pause position, holding the barbell, touching our chest for a pause bench during the workout, okay? So the way this will work is I got my weight set up here, got my spotter on board, I'm doing my first set, so it's 5 reps. Take that bar out of the rack, touch my chest, but don't relieve tension, hold, dead stop, and then push back up, right? And the goal here is that starting strength or the initial drive off my chest from that dead stop position with tension to create that force away from me, right? So this is different than if I allow my sternum, my rib cage, and the bar to kind of bounce off my chest. When I do the bounce, I absolutely can lift more weight, or I can do the same weight for a larger set, and it's because I don't have to use my muscular force. I can just use the compression and the elastic nature of my rib cage and my muscles in order to bounce through the sticking point of the bench press, right? But how do we get better at pushing through the sticking point of the bench press when the weight is so heavy that I can't use momentum, right? Which is what a 1 rep max is, right? Then I have to work on pauses or holding in that sticking point position, and that will help you to break through plateaus in lifting where you might normally get stuck. Okay, so that's the value of those pause bench, or later in the week, pause squat, okay? After we get through that, and again, make sure we have spotters, watch the percentages, watch the number of reps. It's not 5 by 5, it's not the same percentage every time, so make sure you're looking at that and you're using appropriate loading, right? And then as always, if the weight is too heavy and you can't pause and get it back up off your chest, not only is that an indicator that, hey, we have been using too much bounce in the past and you have zoomed past your actual muscular strength limitations by using the recoil and the elastic response at the bottom of that movement, but it also is just an indicator, or not an indicator, but it is a personalization that you can make to each workout to say, like, hey, if 65% isn't working, let's keep it at 60 and get the most that you possibly can out of the workout, instead of just bumping your head against the wall and thinking that you failed. Instead of doing that, let's get something out of it and just drop the weight a little bit. Technique becomes the priority, all right, when you have matured as an athlete a little bit, and the way that you do the movements matters a lot more than how heavy you go for your long-term development, okay? All right, next we're gonna get a sandbag. Keep your bench press station out, but let's drop the weight into that like 55, 60-ish% range. And then this would be a good one to do with a group. It is for time, but I am anticipating everyone to share or to rotate or to use or need spotters as we go deeper and deeper into these sets, okay? And then you'll need your rings again from the warm-up. So this will work 3, 2, 1, go. We're doing the Linda format, which is starting at a set of 10 and marching our way down to 1 of each of these 3 exercises, and then After you've done 10 reps of all 3 exercises, then you do 9 reps of all 3 exercises, then you do 8 reps of all 3 exercises, etc., until you get down to 1. So it's bench press. The RX weight, 135/95, we call that like our competition weight. If that is less than 50% of your 1 rep max, then go up a little bit. Or if you never have to break it up, then you should probably also go up a little bit. My intention is that you probably can get the first set of 10 unbroken, but after you get into like the 9 or the 8, then you're having to put it back in the rack for a little bit in order to recover from the muscle fatigue from doing those bench presses, all right? After your bench press, we're gonna do overhead sandbag walking lunges, and this is a 2 for 1. So when we do the set of 10, you're actually taking 20 steps, or you're doing 1 rep is a step with the left and a step with the right, right? So a couple different ways to hold it. I like the parallel handles right here, and I just do like a punch to the ceiling like that, and I'm holding it in the overhead position. So left, right, that's 1, and I'm gonna go up to 10 as we do our overhead walking lunges. Put my sandbag down. The sandbags, they do have a Velcro membrane inside of them. So if you don't slam them to the ground, it will be a longer duration between when I have to take them apart and repair that thing. So you don't have to put them down like it's made of glass, right? But you also don't have to slam it from overhead, okay? And then the last one is strict ring dips. So that means we're not gonna use a kip today, and if possible, I'd like to see everybody trying the rings out. If you absolutely cannot do these on the rings, then get out matadors, right? But the rings are less stable. That means they force your shoulders and the smaller muscles in your shoulders and your arms to stabilize the rings, and strict just means I'm not allowed to use my kip, right? So all the way down, touch my biceps to the ring, or get my shoulders below my elbows, and then press back up until my arms are straight. Try to point your thumbs away from the center line while keeping your palms close to your thighs at the top of that ring dip. The further your arms move away from your body on the ring dip, the harder it is to hold that position, and the less likely it is that you'll actually get full lockout of the arms, right? And then turning your thumbs out engages some of the rotational muscles in your shoulder and helps to keep your scapula and your shoulder in a better posture as you do it, okay? So think hands to your side, turn the thumbs out at the top with the elbows straight. Okay. All right, that's our workout for today. 10 down to 1 of bench press, overhead walking lunge with a sandbag, and strict ring dips. Have a great one. I'll see you guys on Thursday.